As the sun sets on a nation filled with pride, a subtle yet powerful undercurrent begins to rise, an extreme form of nationalism that can transform the spirit of unity into a weapon of division. Flags wave high, anthems ring out, and the narrative of yous versus them solidifies. While the ideals of patriotism inspire loyalty and love for one's homeland, the dark side reveals itself when extreme nationalism breeds intolerance, hatred, and conflict. From the streets of Europe to the borders of Asia, the impact of fervent patriotism reaches beyond borders, often leading to devastating consequences that reshape societies in profound ways. In a small town, families gather for the annual Independence Day parade, children waving flags, adults singing the national anthem with fervor. Amid the festive atmosphere, a group of young men stands apart, their faces painted in the colors of the flag, chanting slogans that echo through the streets. What begins as a celebration of national pride slowly morphs into an unsettling display of extreme nationalism. This scene, seemingly innocent at first, highlights a growing tension that can threaten the very fabric of society. As patriotism transforms into something darker, questions arise. Where does love for one's country end, and where does nationalism begin? 1. Defining nationalism and its historical context. Nationalism, as a political ideology, emerged in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, rooted in the desire for self-determination and unity among people who shared a common culture, language, or history. Its origins can be traced back to events such as the French Revolution, which inspired revolutionary movements across Europe, leading to the establishment of nation-states. The concept of nationalism was revolutionary, providing a means for individuals to identify with a broader community beyond their local ties, often rallying around shared experiences and ideals. In its positive form, nationalism serves as a unifying force, fostering social cohesion and a sense of belonging. It encourages individuals to take pride in their national identity, leading to greater civic participation and communal support during challenging times. For example, during World War II, nationalism played a pivotal role in mobilizing populations for war efforts, generating solidarity and a shared sense of purpose. However, the historical context of nationalism reveals its darker potential. As nations sought to solidify their identities, they often marginalized or oppressed minority groups within their borders. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of imperialism, fueled by nationalist sentiments that justified the expansion of territories and the subjugation of indigenous populations. This was particularly evident in European colonization, where the imposition of cultural and political dominance led to profound injustices and suffering. The transition from a unifying ideology to a tool of oppression can be seen in various historical events, such as the Balkan Wars and the Holocaust, where extreme forms of nationalism led to ethnic cleansing and genocides. Understanding this historical context is crucial to grasping how nationalism has evolved and manifested in different societies, and how it continues to shape global dynamics today. 2. The evolution of extreme patriotism. The evolution of extreme patriotism is intricately tied to historical events and social changes that have shaped nations throughout the years. The aftermath of World War I marked a significant turning point in the global perception of nationalism. Many countries emerged from the war with feelings of national humiliation and a desire for vengeance. This environment laid the groundwork for extreme nationalist movements that sought to reclaim lost pride and territory, often at the expense of others. In Germany, the Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh reparations and territorial losses, leading to widespread discontent. The Nazis exploited this discontent, promoting an aggressive form of nationalism that emphasized racial purity and superiority. This ideology portrayed the nation as a victim, justifying violent actions against perceived enemies, particularly Jewish populations and other minority groups. The result was a catastrophic loss of life and the horrors of the Holocaust, a dark chapter in human history that serves as a warning about the consequences of unchecked nationalism. In the contemporary era, the resurgence of extreme nationalism can be observed in various parts of the world. Political movements that emphasize America first, Brexit, and similar ideologies have gained traction by appealing to citizens' fears about immigration, globalization, and cultural dilution. Leaders often use rhetoric that glorifies national strength while demonizing outsiders, creating an environment of division and mistrust. The rise of populist leaders worldwide showcases how extreme nationalism can manipulate public sentiment, often leading to xenophobia and societal polarization. As countries grapple with issues like migration, economic inequality, and cultural identity, the danger of falling into the trap of extreme patriotism looms large, threatening social cohesion and global stability. 3. The psychological appeal of extreme nationalism. Understanding the psychological allure of extreme nationalism is essential to grasp its widespread appeal and the motivations behind individuals' commitment to such ideologies. At its core, extreme nationalism provides individuals with a strong sense of identity and belonging. In an increasingly complex and uncertain world, people often seek solace in the familiarity of their national identity. This need for belonging can lead individuals to embrace nationalistic narratives that promote a simplified worldview, where the complexities of modern life are distilled into clear distinctions of us versus them. The emotional resonance of extreme nationalism is particularly potent during times of crisis. Economic downturns, social upheaval, or political instability can leave individuals feeling vulnerable and anxious. In these moments, extremist ideologies offer an escape, providing straightforward explanations for societal problems and scapegoats for their frustrations. Leaders who promote extreme nationalism often frame themselves as defenders of the nation, using rhetoric that resonates deeply with individuals' fears and aspirations. Furthermore, the group dynamics associated with extreme nationalism can intensify these feelings of belonging. Individuals within nationalist groups often reinforce one another's beliefs, creating echo chambers that validate their views and promote intolerance toward outsiders. This can lead to an environment where dissenting opinions are marginalized, further solidifying extremist ideologies. Politicians and extremist leaders are adept at manipulating these psychological tendencies. By employing emotionally charged language and imagery, they can rally support and mobilize followers for their causes. This manipulation can lead to a dangerous spiral where individuals become increasingly entrenched in their beliefs, making it difficult to engage in constructive dialogue or consider alternative perspectives. The psychological appeal of extreme nationalism, therefore, lies in its ability to provide individuals with a sense of purpose and identity, while simultaneously fostering division and hostility. 4. The impact on society and culture. The ramifications of extreme nationalism extend far beyond political arenas, infiltrating social and cultural spheres, and often leading to significant divisions within communities. At its core, extreme nationalism promotes the idea of a singular national identity, frequently marginalizing the voices and contributions of minority groups within society. This cultural homogeneity not only threatens the richness of diversity, but can also stifle creativity and innovation, as varied perspectives are essential for cultural growth. The impact of extreme nationalism on societal structures is particularly pronounced in the realms of education and media. Curricula may be designed to emphasize a glorified version of national history, omitting or distorting narratives that include marginalized communities. This selective storytelling reinforces a singular identity, perpetuating stereotypes, and further alienating minority groups. Such educational practices can create a cycle of ignorance and prejudice, as new generations grow up with a skewed understanding of their nation's history. Moreover, extreme nationalism often fosters social unrest and division, leading to protests and violence. When marginalized communities resist cultural erasure or discrimination, tensions can escalate, resulting in clashes between nationalists and those who advocate for inclusivity and diversity. These conflicts often manifest in the form of hate crimes, riots, and political polarization, creating an environment of fear and hostility. The arts and cultural expressions can also suffer under the weight of extreme nationalism. Artists and creators who challenge the dominant narrative may find themselves censored or silenced, stifling creative expression. This cultural suppression not only limits individual voices, but also impoverishes the national cultural landscape, depriving society of the diverse ideas and innovations that drive progress. Ultimately, the impact of extreme nationalism on society and culture is profound, leading to divisions that can fracture communities and hinder societal advancement. Recognizing these effects is crucial for fostering an environment that values diversity and promotes inclusivity, allowing for a richer and more harmonious coexistence. 5. The role of media and technology. In today's interconnected world, the role of media and technology in shaping narratives around nationalism is increasingly significant. Social media platforms have emerged as powerful tools for the dissemination of information, allowing individuals and groups to share their views widely. However, these platforms also serve as breeding grounds for extreme nationalist sentiments, often amplifying divisive rhetoric and fostering echo chambers that reinforce existing beliefs. The nature of social media algorithms prioritizes sensational content, which often includes extreme viewpoints. This can lead to the rapid spread of misinformation and extremist ideologies, creating a distorted perception of reality. As users engage with content that aligns with their views, they become less exposed to diverse perspectives, reinforcing their biases and normalizing intolerance. This phenomenon contributes to a societal polarization where opposing sides view each other as enemies rather than fellow citizens with differing opinions. Extremist groups have adeptly utilized social media to recruit and radicalize individuals. Through targeted messaging and propaganda, they can appeal to vulnerable individuals who are seeking a sense of belonging or purpose. The ease of access to these platforms means that young people, in particular, may be susceptible to extremist ideologies that promise identity and community. Furthermore, traditional media also plays a crucial role in shaping narratives around nationalism. Sensationalized reporting on issues such as immigration, terrorism, and national security can fuel fears and perpetuate stereotypes, leading to a heightened sense of threat. This can create a feedback loop where extreme nationalist sentiments gain legitimacy in public discourse, further marginalizing those who advocate for inclusivity and understanding. In summary, the role of media and technology in shaping narratives around nationalism cannot be overstated. While they provide avenues for dialogue and connection, they also have the potential to perpetuate division and extremism. Addressing this challenge requires critical media literacy and a commitment to fostering diverse narratives that celebrate inclusivity and understanding. 6. Global implications of extreme nationalism. The consequences of extreme nationalism extend beyond the borders of individual nations, impacting global relations and stability. As countries embrace more extreme nationalist stances, the international landscape becomes increasingly complex, leading to tensions that can threaten global cooperation. This trend is evident in the rise of populist movements that prioritize national interests over collaborative efforts to address global challenges. One of the most significant implications of extreme nationalism is the potential for isolationist policies. Countries that prioritize their interests may withdraw from international agreements and alliances, undermining collective efforts to tackle pressing issues such as climate change, trade disputes, and global security threats. For example, the United States' withdrawal from international climate agreements under a nationalist agenda has raised concerns about the collective ability to address global warming and its effects. Moreover, extreme nationalism often exacerbates existing geopolitical rivalries, leading to increased tensions and conflicts. The ongoing disputes in regions like the South China Sea and Eastern Europe illustrate how extreme nationalist sentiments can fuel aggressive territorial claims and military posturing. These conflicts not only pose risks to regional stability, but can also have cascading effects on global security, as alliances and rivalries shift in response to nationalist agendas. Human rights are also at risk in a climate of extreme nationalism. As nations prioritize their interests, the protection of minority groups and marginalized communities may be sidelined. This can lead to increased discrimination, violence, and even ethnic cleansing, as seen in various conflicts around the world. The international community faces the challenge of responding to these human rights violations while navigating the complexities of national sovereignty. 7. Strategies for countering extreme nationalism. Countering extreme nationalism requires a multifaceted approach that addresses its root causes while promoting inclusive narratives that celebrate diversity. Education plays a critical role in fostering understanding and empathy among different communities. Developing curricula that emphasize the value of multiculturalism and teach critical thinking skills can help students recognize and challenge extremist ideologies. Encouraging open dialogue about national identity and history can also promote inclusivity, allowing individuals to see their shared humanity rather than focusing on differences. Community engagement initiatives can also play a vital role in countering extreme nationalism. By fostering opportunities for interaction between diverse groups, communities can break down stereotypes and build trust. Programs that promote intercultural dialogue, cooperative projects, and social events can create spaces for individuals to connect and appreciate one another's perspectives, fostering social cohesion and reducing prejudice. Media literacy is another crucial strategy in combating extreme nationalism. As misinformation and propaganda proliferate on social media, teaching individuals to critically evaluate sources and recognize manipulative tactics is essential. Promoting diverse media representations that challenge extremist narratives can help counteract the homogenization of viewpoints and provide more balanced perspectives on national issues. Political leaders and policymakers must also take a stand against extreme nationalism by advocating for policies that prioritize inclusivity and protect the rights of minority communities. Encouraging civic engagement and participation in democratic processes can empower individuals to voice their concerns and advocate for their rights, creating a more equitable society. Extreme nationalism is a powerful force that can shape nations in profound ways, often leading to division, intolerance, and conflict. While love for one's country can inspire positive change and social unity, it's essential to remain vigilant against the darker aspects of extreme patriotism. By acknowledging the historical context, psychological appeal, and cultural implications of nationalism, societies can work towards creating a balanced identity that embraces diversity and promotes inclusivity. As citizens, we must engage in open dialogues, challenge extremist narratives, and advocate for policies that celebrate our shared humanity. The future of our nations depends on our ability to navigate the complexities of identity without succumbing to the dangers of extreme nationalism.